When I think of Vietnam, where I was born, I think of food. And that my mother, grandmother, and I used to go to markets early in the morning. And we would cook together. And I remember the street food.
Sian Chuong has turned his passion for food into his profession. He now owns 3 restaurants in Berlin. His latest is named after Ho Chi Minh City's District Mott. Guests can sample authentic Vietnamese fare and feel like they're sitting street-side in the nation's capital, thanks to accessories and furniture that Sian Chuong imported from his home country.
Vietnamese street food is unlike anything else. It's usually simple. You eat with your hands, and food tends to be fatty. Much of the food is grilled, and many things are prepared by hand. You devote much attention to food and eat with your hands. I like that.
Pho noodle soup is Vietnam's national dish. The ingredients are grilled or sautéed in a wok. A homemade broth is the basis for any Vietnamese soup. Pho bo is the opposite of fast food. Ideally, its broth should simmer for 12 or 24 hours. That lets all flavors fully unfold. Pho bo special comes with beef meatballs. The thin beef slices are cooked once they're covered with hot broth.
If you know Vietnam, you know you've got to eat pho soup. We eat pho bo any time of the day and night. Preparing the soup is time-consuming. You need to start making the broth a day in advance to extract all the nutrients and flavors from the bones and meats.
Sian Chuong was born in 1967 in Ho Chi Minh City, when it was still called Saigon. He has 4 younger siblings. 14 years later, his family emigrated to southern Germany. There, aged 18, Sian Chuong began training as a chef. He recalls exactly what it was like to move to Germany.
I remember we arrived in Germany in April or May. It was early springtime, and the flowers along the street were in bloom. We don't have that back home. I'm a nature lover. I like flowers, food, and animals. So that really impressed me.
20 years ago, Sian Chuong moved to Berlin. He opened 2 restaurants in Berlin's Mitte district, including his latest, District Mott. The area surrounding Berlin's Alexanderplatz Square in Mitte is a bustling neighborhood. In that sense, it's a bit like Ho Chi Minh City's District 1.
Berlin's Mitte district in the eastern part of town has a great mix of people. They are young, they're international. You've got Berliners, newcomers from Stuttgart, Hamburg, or Israel, and also visitors and tourists from everywhere.
When it comes to cooking, Sian Chuong doesn't make any compromises. He certainly doesn't cater to German taste buds. And visitors appreciate they're being served up authentic Vietnamese fare.
Hôm nay Sian nấu phở bò cho các bạn. Chúc các bạn ăn ngon miệng.